Hello everyone. Today I want to share my views with you on AI generated art. While my background isn't in machine learning or artificial intelligence, I have been building software for well over a decade in various industries. And I've also been studying art. Drawing and painting has been a passion of mine throughout my life. Ever since GenAI was released to the public, it has generated polarizing and controversial conversations throughout the art community. So let's talk about it. Now, before I share my personal thoughts on this topic, let's talk about what is AI-generated art. AI-generated art refers to artworks created with the assistance or entirely generated by artificial intelligence algorithms. These algorithms use machine learning techniques to produce visual content that can be considered artistic in nature. They can take various forms, including what you might consider traditional art, such as paintings or drawings. But more frequently, they are digital computer graphics, designs, character or game designs, or anime-style drawings. So how is it made, you might wonder? Well, the first step in creating AI-generated art is collecting a large data set of relevant examples. For instance, if you want to generate artwork in the style of a particular artist, such as yourself, you would gather a substantial collection of your own paintings and drawings. The higher quality of your scanned images and the more images you can gather, the better. Once you have your data set, you need to pre-process the data to make it suitable for training machine learning models. This may involve tasks such as resizing, cleaning text, or converting all of your found files into a standardized format. Once you got your cleaned, sanitized, normalized dataset, the most important step following is to choose a model. Now, the choice of the machine learning models depends on the type of art you want to generate. There are various existing models online, so you don't need to start from scratch. The selected model is then trained using the prepared dataset. During the training, the AI learns to recognize patterns and features in your dataset. For your example, you're training a model to generate art. So the generator network learns to create images that resemble the training data, which would be your own artwork. After the initial training, fine-tuning may be necessary to achieve the desired level of quality and style in your generated art. This most of the time involves generating and adjusting various parameters such as learning rates or model architecture to improve your output. Once the model is trained and fine-tuned, you can start generating art. This typically involves providing some kind of input or guidance to the model, such as a starting point, a specific style, such as watercolor, or a text prompt, such as paint still life in watercolor. The AI or the machine then generates art based on the learned patterns and the provided input. While GenAI is still relatively new, it has been rapidly growing. Virtually all of the startups these days would tag along and build their tech on top of AI. When traditional product software companies are still playing catch up, there are new shops who release tools out there that essentially packages all of that, what I just described, into a product or a service offering for end users to use. For instance, Stable Diffusion is one that's quite popular among open source community. It's available on GitHub, and with some poking around, it's not too difficult to get it set up locally to run on your own computer. Although downloading various models that you can find online can be slightly challenging to your limited hard drive space and can also be time consuming as you're running all of that compute relying on your own hardware. There are also various cloud SaaS products one might consider. The company behind Stable Diffusion created a product called Stability AI, There's also the wildly popular Midjourney and DALL-E, which was created by OpenAI, the same company who created ChatGPT. These online offerings are typically priced based on consumption. The more images you generate, the more costly the service will be. Okay, so we got through all of that. Now, what is all the fuss is about? What makes AI-generated art controversial? Well, the challenge is that all of these products are created with models that are trained using images from artists without their consent. To artists, there's a difference between it's free for you to look at my art, but it isn't free if you want to make a profit off of my art, especially when you did this without permission. While companies such as Stable Diffusion claims no rights on generated images, there is an ethical concern with ownership given its training data usage. The argument from companies who made these tools is often that the responsibility lies within the users themselves. They are simply the service provider, and they're not responsible for the actions of users using their service. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Do you agree with this? There are artists and companies whose business model and livelihood has been impacted who obviously do not agree with this and want to hold the GenAI companies themselves accountable. There are currently public lawsuits against companies who built these tools, individual artists, as well as company who host and sells stock images. While adoption of GenAI is fast growing, lawmakers are still playing catch up. I don't know how the law will change, but I do believe it will and it should. There should be a balance between companies providing GenAI services for a fee, GenAI users who produce AI products for profit, and artists whose work were referenced and used in the creation of GenAI services. One can't exist without the other. I believe it's in our best interest to find this balance. So, how does any of this impact me? Whether it's for work or for leisure, GenAI has become a tool for me. I don't use it on a daily basis, but from week to week, it has become part of my tool chain. I also had to learn it to provide better consulting services for my clients. I learned how to build products with it on different cloud providers. I do not use GenAI for art, but I can see why an artist might want to use it, whether it's to generate references quickly or to build blueprint or simply for inspiration. I've heard polarizing perspectives from friends. Some were emotional while talking about it, and some are fully embracing it. A friend of mine, who also majored in computer science and minored in fine arts, she's currently a programmer as well as a digital artist who accepts commissions from time to time. Now, she loves to use Stable Diffusion. She even bought a few extra hard drives just so that she can download more models to try out various rendering styles on her own computer. The reason I don't use GenAI tools for art is simply because I don't find it useful enough. It's too slow and ad hoc for generating references for me. I don't have the time and patience to go through trial and error, nor to come up with a prompt library that's suitable for my needs. I have limited time to devote to art on a daily basis, so I want to make sure my routine can be as efficient and time-saving as possible. I simply feel the tool currently available aren't mature enough. The price tag of using AI will eventually go down, and I'm sure there will be a turning point in the future that I might consider using it. Besides the controversy around rights using artists' work without consent, another fear surrounding AI-generated art is that it will take over the art industry and replace the need for artists completely, or at the very minimum, depreciate their service. While I don't have magical power to see into the future, I don't believe this to be true. I think there will be some shifts to some jobs in the design industry. Some of them will need to learn and evolve their daily routine. Photoshop and Illustrator were mandatory tools for web or graphic design when I first graduated, and now app designers are required to know Figma and Miro. Similar to these types of tooling change, they'll now need to learn how to incorporate GenAI into their design process. But when it comes to traditional art, I actually believe they will appreciate in value. With the rise of GenAI technology and maturity in these products, being able to still develop the skill to put pen to paper or brush to canvas will become more and more rare. When something that was previously deemed valuable is now more rare, do you think it'll appreciate or depreciate in value? I also believe for artists, there is a tremendous amount of value in the art creation process itself. For many of us, the creation process is equally, if not more important than the final art we make. But GenAI takes all of that away. I think artists exist to create, and not because of the art we create. I believe there will be value in learning how to draw, value in the art creation process, as well as value in the art created, all of which will not be diminished by GenAI. A few months ago, we scanned our kids' drawings and fed them into Stable Diffusion, trained it, and showed our kids what the computer can transform their drawings to. Kids were amazed, but they did not feel a sense of ownership towards the graphics generated on screen. I think they are keenly aware that there's a difference. They proceed to learn the generated graphics and try to imitate it in their own drawings and try to make it own in their own sketchbooks. I think to them, the computer and what it can do is fascinating and interesting, and they want to use more of it. But that doesn't stop them from drawing. That doesn't stop them from using traditional tools to make art. I think it's important to educate children to understand that GenAI is a tool for us, similar to how a calculator is a tool to learning math, but it doesn't replace the need to learn arithmetic calculations ourselves. Obviously, all of this is just my opinion. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this. I'm open to dialogue, open to feedback, and if you feel that I misrepresented anything, please let me know in comments below. I'm still learning, and this is a fast evolving topic that I think everyone has been playing catch up on. Now, thank you for listening, and happy drawing.